There's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. Hey, Gumpers.
Hey, look at Baldylocks is first in with a good morning, Gumpers, this morning. How's everybody doing? Carl Munson here with Expats Portugal's Good Morning Portugal live stream here, 8:30 every weekday until, well, best laid plans and all of that. Usually, well, scheduled for a 10 o'clock end. I don't think we've met that many times. We certainly haven't finished before 10 for a long time, and we tend to run over a little bit. We get chatting, we get involved, don't we? And we chat to each other whilst we are nibbling on pastel de natas and Portuguese coffee, and we forget what the time is. Thank you for doing that with me every morning. It is one of my favorite Portuguese things. Now, that's what I want to do today here on Consumer Tuesday. A few of your favorite Portuguese things, please. So I suppose we're doing the silk satin sashes, raindrops on roses, brown paper packages tied up with string. Nobody does that anymore, do they? I guess you can get raindrops on roses and get those in Portugal. I enjoyed those myself last summer. Silk satin sashes. I've never had one of those. I don't even know what it is, really. And brown paper packages. I do like a brown paper package. And you probably can get a brown paper package in Portugal. But what else do you love about this country? We'll share your faves after 9 o'clock. And a few have come in already. Thank you for people who are ahead of this particular theme. One of them being some beer, a particular beer, not any old beer. And this came in. Let me just put it on the screen. This is a Dois Corvos, Two Crows, Cervejeira. Where's that? So that's that. Well, we need to find out more, don't we? A favourite thing of who's this? Lee Chase. I enjoy your show, says Lee, and wanted to put another craft brewery on your list. This is carrying on from the conversation we had with Michael Heron, of course, and was something that came up that I thought it was my duty to report and respond to in the forum. Concerns, Andrew's concerns. And Eric chipped in as well about the availability of craft and independent beers in Portugal. I think we did pretty well. Here's another one. I'm enjoying the very hoppy. It looks very hoppy. Weekend Hazy IPA. Yeah, that's a good name for that beer. I imagine it does leave you in a somewhat hazy state of the weekend. And a lot of estrogen in there, by the look of it. Remember what Pete said about that? So Cafe Janice across from Time Out Market. Okay, so Dois Corvos, the Two Crow brewery, I think, who make that in Maravilha, but that was being savoured at the Janice Market across from Time Out. The Janice bar opposite to Time Out Market there in the capital. Thank you very much, Lee Chase, for that. Really appreciate it. So more of those after 9 o'clock. Your favourite things, your favourite cough sweets, the things you've never tasted before until you came to Portugal. Your favourite cafe, kiosk, gallery, food market, flea market, anything like that. Let's chat about those wonderful things that we love about Portugal and having a leisurely one. It feels to me like we haven't had a leisurely show for a little while. It's a 90-minute roller coaster ride. And often when we speak to guests and there are comments coming in, we don't have that occasional intimacy we have when we're just having a chat with each other here. So today's that day. Rest of the week is looking like this. Tomorrow we're going to have another live cooking demo. I think it's going to be grilled bream tomorrow, a Portuguese classic. That's one of my favourite Portuguese things, I'll have to tell you, after 9 o'clock. And Owen is cooking it tomorrow, live, hopefully, from the amazing Austin Brothers Studios in Alviagra. So a live cooking demo tomorrow. And then on Thursday, Global are with us. You'll find Global in our business directory, helping people relocate to Portugal, and they're good pet carriers as well. So over the coming weeks, we'll have a residency with Global on the third Thursday of every month, and you will be able to quiz them about their services, and they'll be able to tell you all about what they do. So global on Thursday. Then on Friday, the coach is here, Coach Ian Turner, and I've been doing a lot of work behind the scenes on the Growing Old Disgracefully, the God Squad website, which we now call Grey Watch, the gentle fitness for bon viveurs. So I'd be delighted to talk to Coach Turner about that on Friday. But also, let's talk generally about me too, actually, Francis. We'll come back to you in just a moment and your view this morning. I like me a good craft beer. No worries, anybody looking for craft beer, you will find it in Portugal. You just have to scratch the surface a little and go beyond the Sagres Super Pop. Nothing wrong with those. They may well be a favourite thing of people. But yeah, on Friday, after all that beer drinking, the gentle fitness for bon viveurs, we've come here to enjoy life, haven't we, and have a great time. But sometimes we're thinking, maybe I should take better care of myself as well. And in that program, we've been talking about intermittent fasting as well. The nutrition, the food side of things, and sports shoes, trainers, shoes wisely, we call that module. So anything and everything to do with health and well-being, 50 plus, I think it's really important for us to check in with every now and then, whether or not you're joining us on the Grey Watch Growing Old Disgracefully program there. And that's it. Yeah, that's the rest of the week, apart from Thursday evening. Now, I said yesterday, didn't I? We're doing a leasing special with ACP. Now, I need to get to the bottom of this because I'm not sure now if we're doing leasing or renting with ACP. All will be revealed by then. Don't worry about that. But I need to clarify that, whether it is indeed leasing or renting. But it's alternatives to car ownership that we'll be considering with ACP on the Thursday night webinar. And of course, we'll have a Premium Plus troubleshoot Q&A exclusive webinar as well from 9 o'clock. Really enjoying those with the people who are accelerating their plans to move to Portugal. Okay, let's have a little bit of a look at the weather as well now. We haven't done this for a little while. That on the back there is the wrong background, although it's very beautiful, isn't it? There he is, the Barcelos cockerel in his happy homesteading environment. That's from our Monday night show last night, of course, where we we're here with the Q&A, the gardening Q&A for the Happy Homesteaders with the Fresh Air team. And that reminds me, actually, that look here on the screen now, an introduction to permaculture with Cindy B. Remember, we talked about this. We certainly talked about it, not last night, but the week before, which sounds like a limerick my dad used to say. But out on the Get Out and Grow Happy Homesteaders show, not yesterday, but the previous Monday, Cindy B was with us, who's in this morning, and with a weather report from San Martino de Porto. But Cindy B is hosting a permaculture, introduction to permaculture course online. And that permaculture, a fabulous philosophy for homesteading, growing, gardening, horticulture, however you wish to look at it. Permaculture is a great lens through which to look at any growing you might be doing and homesteading. And so you need to get in touch with Cindy, who may well put her details in the comments so that you can do that course about to launch. Look, sunshine, everybody. Bit chilly for me when I went, beautifully bright. All the pictures I'm sending to my kids of grandma enjoying herself in Portugal have amazing blue skies in them. A lovely coincidence. But we do. I mean, we are blessed, aren't we, with these 300 days or thereabouts of sunshine here in Portugal. And here are some of them. If we take a look at the expatsportugal.com weather. Lisbon this morning, 45 degrees Fahrenheit, 7 degrees centigrade. It's going to be somewhat cloudy today, but sunny at the moment with that high of 59 Fahrenheit. How about that? In the capital, 15 degrees centigrade. And when you look beyond Wednesday, you're seeing an amazing sunny week with highs going up to over 60. So not really hot, but bright. Let's call it bright, if not super hot. But when that sun hits your back and your shoulders, or your hair, or your bald head, in some of our cases here, it's a lovely sensation, isn't it? Porto doing even better, sunny day today, and throughout the whole week of sunshine, going up up to 15, only 15, but still very comfortable and very bright in Porto for the next 7 days currently, although 7 at the moment, rising to 14 later today. Coimbra, if Jim is still in Coimbra, this is for you, Jim. Hope you had a great birthday. And 7 degrees currently with a few clouds, but rising to 16. And in the south, 13 degree high today, 10 degrees currently, a nice warm start. Relatively speaking, of course. Coimbra, yeah, rest of the week is looking good in Coimbra. And the rest of the week after Wednesday in the south looking pretty good as well, apart from a slightly cloudy Saturday. But generally speaking, that's a pretty awesome weather picture. And as I scroll through the other districts of Portugal, you'll see sunshine peeking out from behind the clouds, or full-on brightness across the country here. Isn't that lovely? 1 degree though in Viseu at the moment, and -2 in Bragança I'm looking at, and 0 degrees in Guarda currently. So we can consider ourselves lucky in other parts of the country. Viana do Castelo looking forward to a 14-degree high, currently at 8. Just picking and choosing these. And the autonomous regions, 17 degrees in the Azores at the moment, with a little bit of rain forecast for today. And rain, I think, for quite a lot of the rest of the week in the Azores, but only to be expected over there on the islands. And in Paradise in Madeira, currently raining, and a bit of a rainy week ahead, but an 8-degree Tuesday. That's the high for you in Madeira, if that's where you are this morning. So there you go. That's the weather, which also we haven't done for a little while. Looking forward to a little bit of a leisurely one this morning, but you never know what's going to happen. Let's say a few. Yes, in Coimbra, Jim's in Coimbra, so that weather spot on for you there. Lovely looking day in Coimbra, and a weather outlook for you, Jim, if you're staying there for a few days. Let's see who is here this morning saying hi. Don't forget, after 9, a few of your Portuguese favorite things, if you will. Now, we need to do something about this, don't we? We need to have a hashtag here. The licenseless Mrs. Duck, day 259 as an undocumented driver. Hashtag undocumented driver. We need to sex that up a bit, don't we? To bring it to the attention possibly of more people on the IMT. But nearly, I think 300 days is going to, 365 is going to be the biggie, isn't it, for you, the Ducks? And so yes, a mixed bag from the Ducks this morning. You know, the lows of undocumented driving and the highs of Stephen Wright humour. I used to work in a fire hydrant factory. You couldn't park anywhere near that place. Now that's an American joke. I don't get that because fire hydrants are not something I grew up with. But what you've got to give fire hydrants a clear berth, presumably, so that the fire, the tender, the fire engine can get close to it. Wasted on that one. Straight over the top of my head. It's so good. It's being said twice. I used to work in a fire hydrant factory. So even twice, I'm still not quite getting it. That lovely greeting from Baldylocks. Good morning, Gumpers. And from the prof. I'd woken up early and I took a long time getting ready to exist. Fernando Pessoa. So is there a special Fernando Pessoa day today? Or is that just a timeless quote for any time of the year? But there's the mark of the man in just that one line there. A great literary figure, of course, and thinker of Portuguese culture. I'd woken up early and I took a long time getting ready to exist. I think the sensitive souls, aka the Gumpers, I think a lot of you will be able to relate to that. And it's a bon dia, of course, as well. From the prof, Eusebio. Midlife Crisis World Tour, you also know him as. Matty's here as well. Bon dia, alegria a todos de Pombal. Blue sky and warm sun. You're getting some of that Coimbra weather there, aren't you? We'll send a picture in a bit. Thank you very much. And pictures are coming in, and videos. We've got Anna, after sending those beautiful pictures, a purple afternoon in Stockholm and the Aurora Borealis. We have the ascent. This must be a favorite Portuguese thing for people. The flight coming into Lisboa is a great experience, is it not? And we have that documented, a 30-second video of that. If you want to get excited about yourself in that same window seat, looking at Lisboa as you're coming in. Oh, and Colin, so good to see Colin and Hakeem finally here. And great to be part of your journey, gentlemen. And we've got a beautiful Cascais at dawn. So giddy and delighted to be here, I think, getting up at dawn just to look at the sunrise. That's a beautiful picture. Excuse me. And I'll be sharing that with you in just a moment. And also the crispy grass of Pombal to share with you. Nice scenes as well from Pombal, from Matty to share with you. Oh, yes, I was we were talking yesterday, weren't we? About it. And there's a good one from James as well that you're going to see in just a moment when it comes to talking about electric cars. And people want to talk about electric cars, don't they? But yeah, the pictures that you send in, hoping to immortalize them. We had a little bit of a conversation about that yesterday morning. And I think I figured it out. Do you remember? Some of you will remember the old, before I worked with Expats Portugal, it seems like I always have been working with Expats Portugal. It's not been that long, I think 18 months or so. But before that, the Good Morning Portugal show was a crowd-funded coffee.com based enterprise. And since we've been working together, Expats, since I've become a part of Expats Portugal, basically, we've been wondering quite what to do with the Good Morning Portugal coffee.com site blog. And it occurred to me yesterday, that's what we should use for the pictures. And I've called it the show notes blog. Okay, so if you go to goodmorningportugal.com or you go to coffee.com/GMP, I think that'll work as well, actually. But somebody might like to try that and tell me. That's where we will, with your permission, immortalize your pictures and other show notes. That's why it's called the show notes blog. Sometimes there are things to talk about, aren't there, after the show? People say, what was that place? What was that link you gave? People want to keep talking about Bayard's lozenges, etc. And that's where we can do it. That's basically the show notes blog, my blog, and we can chat about things and share your pictures on there if you'd like to. Entirely up to you, folks. Bom dia from James Holly. Bom dia. Feliz e linda terça-feira a todos. So a happy and beautiful Tuesday to all from James there. And the OLP is here. Good morning, Gumpers, as well from the OLP there from Linda or Lewis or both this morning. Bon dia alegria from a Chile. So same experience as me this morning from Cindy B, who is running, of course, the permaculture course, the introduction to permaculture. Jump on that course and a very good pricing structure for that. Cindy B is doing the gift economy approach to that. Pay what you think it's worth. So no one need be excluded. If you were thinking to yourself, I would like to do that, but around this Blue Monday time, I can do without the added expense. Cindy B will take a very positive view if you are a little on the impecunious side this morning. Good word, huh? I did Latin at school. From a present Californian to a former Californian. Good morning, James Holly. There you go. Personal greetings in the chat today. Thunder. I used to love watching Stephen Wright on Johnny Carson. He was so funny and a bubble off center, to say the least. And that again, I think with the sensibilities of the Good Morning Portugal crew here, the Gumpers, a bubble off center is a pretty good way to describe us as well, right? And James a fan too. Stephen Wright rocks. So more Stephen Wright jokes, if you will. So good to see the Martin Luther King quotes yesterday. And they're the sort of thing we can put on the show notes blog. If people want to keep enjoying the content of the show after 10 o'clock and later on in the day, we can do it over there on the show notes blog. Let's see how that experiment goes, shall we? Bon dia, Carl. Belfast has such a stunning sunset around 5 p.m. I think most of Western Europe had a clear sky last night. Yeah, and a great big moon, right? A fantastic full moon yesterday. I was feeling it. The last couple of days, the kids have been very full moony and parents to match. Shut up. My hero. Who is James your hero or Stephen Wright? Who is your hero? Baldilocks there. Today in Portuguese History 1, 1930, Maria de Lourdes Pintasilgo is born. Who, you might ask? Well, she was the 109th and the first female prime minister of Portugal, and she was only the second woman to serve as PM in Western Europe after Thatcher. So another one of Portugal's unsung greatnesses there. Maria de Lourdes Pintasilgo is born, and the first female prime minister of Portugal, and the second female prime minister of Western Europe after Margaret Thatcher. Wasn't what's her name so amazing in is it called, what's it called, that Netflix series about the royal family? Is it called The Royal Family? I can't remember what it's called, but the lady from the X Factor, and I can't remember her name, but she did a magnificent Margaret Thatcher, like stiff as a board, about to break into pieces with political intensity. I want to call her Kathleen, but it's not that. She's an amazing actress, isn't she? And I said actress, everybody. No one said actress, have they, since 1970? Amazing actor, aren't men and women? actors, actresses, just called actors now. But she's amazing, isn't she? The woman from The X Factor who played Margaret Thatcher in the royal family depiction on Netflix there. Brian Taylor's in, everybody. Look, bon dia from an icy UK. And in your pic there, you're grimacing in a slightly icy way there, Brian, as though there is a little bit of trouble with the brass monkey business, if you know what I mean. Another good morning from Baldilocks. We'll take as many as you can throw at us, Baldilocks. Hello, bon dia. Yes, we missed you yesterday, big boy Crypto Pants. I think you got a bit involved in something, didn't you? And missed us coming on. But you're here this morning, which is great. Here every weekday. There's no need to worry about missing us. We'll be here again tomorrow, unless it's Saturday or Sunday. But even on Saturdays, we're having a break at the moment. Me and Mrs. M do the Feel Good Portugal show on a Saturday night. Not this Saturday, but the one after. We will be back. Bon dia from a chilly Iceland from Jandis this morning. Member Mitchell, saluting you aboard this morning. How did it go on with the young'un? Do let us know. Bon dia Alegria from a cloud that is Cape Town for today. Might be more, so I'm on top of Table Mountain. Might be more, so because I'm on top of Table Mountain. I'm not quite sure what that means, but here, folks, is the documentary evidence of the Table Mountain. This should be the view that Francis would see, and that is spectacular, isn't it? What's going on up there? What are you doing up there, working up there, if I may say so? Or is it secret business? But this is what Francis is seeing this morning. From this room. What is he doing up on Tabletop Mountain or near Tabletop Mountain? And I thought this was the humidity level. Did you mean to send me this from Vodacom, a screenshot of your speed test this morning? I thought that was your humidity, 93.22. But it's your speed. Is that good or bad? I don't know. It looks kind of medium to me. And when I've checked my speed, I've thought, okay, that needle's moving pretty fast. It must be good. I don't understand. What are we looking for when we have such things like that? And this is where the likes of Matty and Francis and those other nerdy types will give us chapter and verse on what to look out for. I'm very open to that this morning. I don't understand it. I can't make my Wi-Fi booster work, and I have problems. Matty, I should have asked you when you were around here, shouldn't I, to help me out with that? So thank you, Francis, for those fantastic pictures. And Francis Joe, another Francis this morning, Joe, from another part of the world. Hello, good morning from the Philippines. Good morning to you, Francis. You're very welcome. And Pamela Smith is here from Alcobaça. Bon dia, singing the praises of Alcobaça yesterday on the gardening show, Pam, and that wonderful gardening co-op that you have in Alcobaça, where you can buy plants and all sorts of things for homesteading life, right? Great shop. There. What's that bit of town called? It's got a funny name, and I haven't been able to figure out what the significance is of that part of town in Alcobaça. Do you know what I'm referring to there, Pamela? Morning all from Elra. How you doing, Elra? I loved your ideas yesterday. And look, Colin and Hakeem can listen in real time. Retired from work, I think ish. And in Cascais now, absent for a time, but we have been a little busy with the move. Absolutely right. Great pictures of you at the airport. So good to see you and welcome you into the country. I understand Jerry missed you and wasn't there with the champagne, but it's morning from Cascais, and we have a lovely picture that you've shared with us that we can share with everybody else now. Here is that Cascais dawn that you're enjoying at the moment, and wise choice. Very interesting talking to Wiley about Cascais on our call at 9 p.m. last week. There it is. I'll just take your comment out of the way for the moment. Isn't that beautiful? Cascais, dawn, all those beautiful colours there. Fantastic. And is there someone paragliding past your window? Or is that a bird this morning? What are you loving about being there? Maybe you can chip into a few of our favourite Portuguese things this morning on Consumer Tuesday. We love the people. We love the place. But let's talk about some of the things, the cultural paraphernalia, shall we? Oh, while we're here then, and from Matty this morning, out with the dogs. We do like a dogging picture in the mornings there. Look, across the park, out with the dogs this morning. And I think we've got another one somewhere. Where's the other one? Oh, yeah, here we go, with a pooch in the foreground. These two huge dogs, magnificent creatures, bit too big to be called pooches, really are. But I think that's looking back at the homestead on the crispy white grass of Pombal this morning. And look at this. This is in from James. Press conference transport press conference. Look at that gentleman's face on the left, the one who wants to talk about walking, cycling, public transport, rail, and parking. And then the lady on the left, electric cars. That's what everybody seems to want to talk about at the moment. And I don't know how much we're going to be talking about electric cars when it comes to renting and leasing on Thursday. I will find out more about that, but do join us if you're in any way interested about, ACP. You can ask questions of the wonderful women from ACP on Thursday and more about their views on renting and leasing cars. How do Portuguese make such succulent octopus? Everybody talks about it. Well, I think it's kind of poached in a pot, isn't it? The way to keep the octopus succulent rather than baking it for too long or frying it, where all the moisture leaves the meat. I suppose. What else can you call it? Any other? Well, we can. That's a great question actually to ask Owen tomorrow morning. Owen, of course, our favourite cook. Doesn't like being called a chef. Chefs do it for money. Cooks do it for the love and the passion. And he'll be doing it for the love with the amazing Austin brothers in El Viagra. Live cooking tomorrow. Bit of grilled golden bream tomorrow, the dorada, here in Portugal. And you can ask him that question, Big Boy Crypto Pants. Set your alarm, set a reminder for tomorrow. Dominique's also in. Morning all. Oh, beautiful picture on Facebook there. And Mark as well. In Norfolk in the UK. Bom dia, alegria, todos. My favourite thing in Portugal is the friendliness of the people. Absolutely. And it's a bit of a sort of underestimation to call it a thing, isn't it? It's a phenomenon. It's phenomenal, the friendliness of the Portuguese people. Got fresh eggs. And how do you like your eggs in the morning, Matty? Delivered by a neighbour, by the sound of it. And a big bag of oranges, mandarins from neighbour and parents of my landlord. That's a great service, isn't it? Or an extension of their hospitality. Superb. So those coming in early, the few of your favourite things. I want to play the song. I could go with John Coltrane's version, couldn't I, of my favourite things. Check that out on Spotify, everybody. Today in Portuguese history too, 1934, the Portuguese general strike took place throughout the whole country. I guess that's the way general strikes work throughout the whole country. Were the aims of that strike met? I wonder. Always a tense business. Any kind of striking, right? And a general strike. I wonder if it brought about the political end game required in that instance. This is a sort of thing it would be great to have more information on. Not this isn't directed at you, Prof, but if there's anything we want to find more out about, we can do that on the show notes blog, coffee.com /GMP, or just put Good Morning Portugal. Actually, goodmorningportugal.com I think should take you there too. So I hope you're having a great time in Coimbra, Jim. I'm gonna have a little sip of me. It's 9 o'clock already. I can play the video that Thunderduck has sent in to us, one of his favourite things, and Mrs. Duck's, the Kiosk, their favourite kiosk, I believe. I'll play that in just a moment, and I can finish the rest of my tea while that's on. Thank you for that. Could you write in the chat where Gilda's favourite places to live in Portugal, please? I couldn't understand the name of the towns when she was in on Monday. We'll have to remember them, won't we? But it was Aveiro, Porto, Sejal, where she lives, Lisboa, and Burgão. I can do that, and I will. And if not on this chat, I'll stick it over on the show notes blog. Perfect place for such things. And good on ya, Big Boy Crypto Pants. Did I miss something there? Or was that? Was that about octopus? Here we go. The strike was triggered by the publication in September 93 of Decree number 23050, and the Portuguese do like these numbered documents that you'll see referred to in any sort of public business you're involved in. But this is by the authoritarian Estado Novo government. So even with that level of control, the people push back. And the decree made collective bargaining, trade unions, and strikes illegal. So the people push back with a general strike. Well done, the people. James Holly, haha, never redundant, always current and always fresh. Just a question of how cold and how strong the winds are. Again, I must have missed something there. But what's redundant, I wonder, over there in Iceland this morning? I'm missing some of James Holly's insights this morning, I think. The UK planning ending all restrictions come end of January. Will Portugal be in a state of calamity, or will they reduce restrictions after the election? I think you're probably right with your guess there, Deagle. And I'm so delighted, I have to say, for mentioning it for a second time here on the Good Morning Portugal live stream, that I'm able to be involved in justice for Noah Donoghue. I've segmented that part of the show from yesterday so that can be shared far and wide if you wish. Let's see what we can do collectively and raise awareness around the world. And 15 minutes completed yesterday by Deagle, really leading the way, I think, with that commitment. 15 minutes of Portuguese yesterday and throughout the rest of the year. It's one of your resolutions, isn't it? But okay, that's interesting to hear. UK planning to end all its pandemic COVID restrictions by the end of January, folks. And will Portugal do the same? I think you're right. I think there will be a sense of caution and steadiness. Oh, excuse me, from the Portuguese authorities. But I suspect if all goes well, looking at other countries around the world, and the UK may well be that first canary into the coal mine, Portugal will be observing and taking a slow and steady path, as it seems to have done throughout this whole thing. So I expect restrictions to lift fairly soon in these next couple of months. That's just a personal thing. I've got nothing to base that on, except my own inklings and my personal water. Okay, so let's play that video now. So I can, for one thing, can finish with tea, but we can also delight in the first of the favorite Portuguese things here. Brown paper packages tied up with string. A few of your favorite Portuguese things, please pop them in the chat. Let's have a chat about them, nice and easygoing, leisurely style on this Consumer Tuesday this morning. And let's start here with a favorite kiosk. If you don't know what kiosks are and their importance, their social importance, check this out. Oh, you caught me drinking. I didn't know how long that was going to last. A covered snack bar, eatery. You see all the Portuguese folks there with their coats on, sat outside. But what a buzz. What a fantastic buzz. And a lovely shot of Mrs. Duck there in the opening scenes. And, of course, a very sort of convivial, buzzy sort of atmosphere. Get yourself a coffee, get yourself some torrada toast there, pastel de nata. An important part, certainly, of Portuguese life. You'll find them more in the big cities, I think, the kiosks, and a few tables and chairs around there where you can sit and have a quick coffee or sit for a bit of more of a leisurely, do a bit of people watching and watch the world go by and drink coffee after coffee and just take it, soak it all up, take it all in. A great entry into a few of your favorite Portuguese things this morning. Thank you very much, Thunder, for that. We should also maybe have a little bit of a look at the news, because that's things move so fast when we've got guests on, don't they? And we often, by the time we've said hello to everyone, we haven't had a chance to look at the news. So I'll do that this morning, I think, as well this morning, as well as factoring in all your favorite things. Where do I send a picture to? That's a great question. Let's get that on the screen as well, in case you want to send pictures of your favorite things, pics and voice messages. Remember, we like a voice message too, and that's on WhatsApp. The Portugal code for you, Jandis, 351, and then my WhatsApp number, the studio WhatsApp number, 913-590-303. And I think we should leave that on the screen for a little while. One of the first phrases of Portuguese I learned, says Caroline Bainton, good morning to you, Caroline, was meio quilo, por favor, not faz favor. I love the dried figs and pears from the market. So that's half a kilo, meio quilo. Keep that written down somewhere or commit it. Say it several times over now. If you want half a kilo of anything, I could get you into trouble, couldn't it? So meio kilo, one of Caroline's first and favorite phrases there. Loving the dried figs and pears. I haven't tried dried pears from the markets, but you love the markets as well, do you? We so do too as well, Caroline. So thank you for that. A few of our favorite Portuguese things this morning. So let's get that on the screen as well, shall we? Yes, not the silk satin sashes, not the raindrops on roses, although that could work in a Portuguese way. Your favorite, a few of your favorite Portuguese things this morning here on Consumer Tuesday. Let me just check the WhatsApp, actually, because lots of lovely things coming through. We have, yesterday's healthy lunch, lean hamburger patty, Patty Pate. Yes, that's Owen, the Patty man, is here tomorrow with the mention of patties there. But yesterday's healthy lunch, lean hamburger patty with sauteed mushrooms and black beans. Stop it, Victoria. A bit of sweet potato. That's not the most appetizing description there. A bit of sweet potato. But let's go with morsel of sweet potato, fresh spinach, cauliflower and broccoli. But talking about appetizing, I'm going to show you that picture in just a moment. This is in the God Squad community thread here on WhatsApp. Ian Turner, looking forward to that sort of food, he says. Victoria goes on to say, about to make oatmeal for breakfast. So there may be more pictures to share in just a moment, as well as that fabulous healthy lunch from yesterday. That's how we roll in the God Squad. Oh, moonset this morning from Cindy. Lots of favorite Portuguese things coming in to share with you. This is fantastic. The pink house with the Madonna statue. People who remember Allo Allo will have a little mini trip down memory lane there. The pink house with the Madonna statue is my rental place, obviously with the Tesla and trailer in the picture. He's got a pink house, everybody. Not unusual here in Portugal, is it, to paint your house pink? And I love the square in Coimbra. So we've got a little bit of video footage to come in from Jim as well. Fantastic. You'll hear it. You always hear a pre-roll of these because I have to start on playing before I download them. Bit of music there, so that's to come as well. Thank you, everybody. This is fantastic. You see, the more leisurely shows where people start sending in their stuff, when we're not just chatting, I don't mean to diminish the power and importance of talking to guests. That's an amazingly important part of the show. But when we are guestless and we're just chatting among ourselves here, get the most amazing pictures and videos coming in, and the stimulation of the love of Portugal on a day like today. What am I going to explain to Sam? Or are you? Because when I was doing the show notes blog yesterday, what I've said there is it's the show notes blog for Good Morning Portugal's Gumpers, and I did put a dictionary style definition, a gumper. And you may want to expand on this and go with the collective nouns as well. Of course, everybody, especially you seasoned gumpers, a listener of or to the Good Morning Portugal show. But Sam, they are so much more than that, I can assure you, as I know you experience from time to time here. That thing you can't quite put your finger on, that thing that you probably shouldn't put your finger on without permission, is gumperishness, is gumperdom. Gumperese, we have our own way of being, and it is an X factor of a kind. Bon dia from cold, snowy Pittsburgh this morning from Suzanne Derringer. Good morning to you, Suzanne. Thank you for joining us in a way that must be very early for you. And wet and cold. The big boy crypto pants are wet and cold in the UK. Nothing new. Doesn't sound like the most entirely positive weather report coming in from the UK there. We do love that. Thank you for that Mayo Kilo. Hashtag Mayo Kilo for your half kilo there. Carl, I sent you a picture that shows why not to park near a hydrant. Excellent education for me this morning. Appreciate that. Mr. Duck, better download that too. Oh, I see. Okay, I think the Americans are going to enjoy this. Brilliant. Another bubble off center. Okay, so that's the far side, isn't it? Is he Larson? Is that his name, Larson? Thank you for that. I'm not sure if that's for sharing or just for popping in the new show notes blog. Misty and Fristy this morning. Is that a typo? I think we could go with that, couldn't we? Fristy weather. Misty and Fristy. It certainly conjures up a certain kind of atmosphere, doesn't it? Superb. And plans being made. Delighted to be a part of a growing offline meetup culture. So delighted to be part of that. And I urge Expats Portugal members and gumpers all over the country to start thinking about that now. Safe to do so, it would seem, and follow the restrictions, of course. But great to be beginning to socialize again. Isn't it lovely? And delighted to be doing so. Gillian Anderson, of course. Why Catherine or Caroline? But Gillian Anderson, thank you very much for that, Coach Turner. He helps you with your memory as well, Okay, so where were we then with favourite Portuguese things and all these lovely videos and pictures coming in? I think we need to go with Jim's video of perhaps his new favourite city in Portugal. I mean, he's new to the country, so he's got a whole lot more cities to choose from, and may well be struggling with the old San Martino de Porto syndrome, where every new place you visit is the place you want to be. That is a thing. There's no known cure for it. Except to keep going, power through, keep visiting Portuguese cities and towns and run that risk. There's no vaccination for that. You just got to get out there and do it. Let it rip, as it were. But here are some of Jim's highlights, I think, or one of his favorite places, and a sense of the atmosphere in Coimbra. Thanks to you, Jim, for this. There you go. That's amazing. That's a brilliant slice of Coimbrian life. Coimbriens. I think that's the right way of saying, isn't it? The describing word of the or the collective noun, is it, of the Coimbra people, or is it an adjective? It's a collective adjective, I think, isn't it? Coimbriens. They're superb, Hitchcock-like as well, with your reflection of the video of the shop of flavors there in Coimbra. That was superb, Jim, and so much in there. And one of my favorite Portuguese things, and I knew this is the wrong description of the show today. It's loads of your favorite things, not just a few of your favorite things. But that was a great starter to go with a few of your favorite things, just in case nobody responded, right? But you have, and abundantly so. And I saw what did I see? A papelaria in there, what I call it, like a Portuguese bookshop, and they're amazing. It's I think it's uniquely Portuguese, a little bit French actually, but it's a stationery shop. You might be able to buy your scratch cards in there. You might be able to buy some children's toys, magazines, cigarettes, that sort of thing. But those to me are uniquely Portuguese. The papelaria, we've got a great one here in San Martin. We've got a couple of them actually in San Martino de Porto. So a fantastic slice of Portuguese life there, Coimbra style. Jim and Mandy falling in love with Coimbra. And a slice of building. Did you see that? Downtown Coimbra there. The walkways there, that beautiful street that connects the river to the, I suppose, up to take you up the hill into that secret part of Coimbra where you can listen to fado and eat an amazing ice cream up in those little lanes. But those bigger walkways make way for the smaller lanes up the hill there as you walk up from the river. from the Mondego. So superb and beautiful shots of the architecture there. And a cannabis shop from Amsterdam. You and your fellow Amsterdamians. What's the collective adjective for them? Collective noun for people from Amsterdam. But Matty, honestly, they're making their presence felt there in the Coimbra High Street as well. Superb, Jim. Thank you very much for that. We also have the Ascent into Portugal, don't we? Which is another a favorite thing for people. Those swallow type people who come back and forth to savor the Portuguese culture and the sunshine and the warmer weather will be very familiar with this. And this is also something you might want to just imagine yourself in this seat looking out of this window if you're not here yet. This is a courtesy of Anna, who's been making this journey in the last 24 hours, I think. Check this out. Isn't that great? It's been a while since I've been in an airplane. I love flying, and I do love flying into Lisbon Airport. So that's for you. If you're a regular in that way, or if you just wanted to feel yourself visualizing your descent into Lisboa, oh, please take your belongings with you. There's a pink house, everybody. Look, a pink Portuguese house. Oh, the Tesla's got. Oh no, the Tesla's in the driveway. That's fine. It's such an incongruous thing. But Matty is an eccentric man. I'm sure he won't mind me calling him that. Most sleek Tesla drivers would not tow a great big trailer behind them like that, would they? They might have a motorboat or something, swanky. But there he goes, utterly practical. The brilliant mind of Matty there, towing his stuff in a trailer behind his Tesla there and living in his pink house with a statue of the Madonna in the front garden. That's fantastic. And here's why you shouldn't park near a fire hydrant. Those fire service personnel, those firefighters, are not going to mess about if they need to connect their hose. Oh, Thunderduck, what a lovely big hose you have this morning that you've sent me. Other pictures coming in. Thank you very much. Look at this. Did you describe this as a moon rise this morning, Cindy B? Sorry, that's the moon set, of course. What am I talking about? I mean, you could be forgiven for thinking that was the sun there, couldn't you? But it's brilliantly captured a flock of pigeons, I think, above that building there. And the moon set, the moon having given us such great service yesterday, stirred all our waters yesterday, our personal tides, going for a rest now, disappearing from view to give way to the sunshine this morning. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Yeah, it's coming here in San Martino de Porto. Fantastic shot. Another one for the show notes blog. Everybody happy with that? I might probably need, it's good etiquette, isn't it, to get your express permission if you want to be a contributor to the show notes blog and get those pickies up there that you share with us so beautifully, like this one here on the morning show. And that healthy lunch from yesterday, I do need to just take this banner out of the way for just quickly for a moment. But that's a good looking lunch, isn't it? Looking out at the sea as well. Great lunch, great view from my colleague, growing old disgracefully colleague, Grey Watches, Wham Pam, Victoria Benson herself there. Delicious. I'm going to have to take that off there because it's making my mouth water. And another shot there of the... oh, no, we already did that one, didn't we? But I do think we have more pics coming in from Matty for a crispy pombal this morning. Talking of crispy pombal, pombal wok, some of you, that was one of my family's favourite things here in Portugal was pombal wok, which was an Asian buffet. You could get sushi and you could get Chinese food in there as well. And you could also pick the ingredients and they'd fry it up for you. And when we passed through Pombal recently, not to be seen, Matty, there any longer. And I think Garvo liked it as well, didn't you? You liked the Pombal wok. It is now a Japanese restaurant. So you might be able to get some of those things in there still. And often the Asian menus in Portugal are quite, what's the word? Broad in their scope. It might describe itself as a sushi shop, but you may well be able to get a plate of more sort of Chinese noodles in some of the Asian restaurants here in Portugal. So sorry to see the Pombal Wok go, but it's been replaced by a Japanese restaurant, which we are keen to try. Any more of your loads actually this morning of your favorite things here in Portugal? Please send in pics or just chat to us in the chat. I see that there are so many chat comments, contributions that I need to keep up with now. Gillian Anderson, of course. Stiff as a board, Margaret Thatcher. And Antonio F is here as well, everybody. Antonio, bon dia, todos from Antonio, and bon dia to you. And The Crown and Gillian Anderson. Max Flight is here, everybody. How are you doing, Max? Often when Max is here, we get a... But with a very uncontroversial comment there so far, Max, of The Crown and Gillian Anderson. I hope you're giggling about that in the Algarve this morning, Max. Midlife crisis, well told. My mum's name is Maria Dolores there. So we are going back. We've got to catch up. It was The Crown and Gillian Anderson, of course, as Margaret Thatcher. OLP telling us there. Thank you for that. My job takes up so much of my leisure time. Well, something needs to change there, clearly. Big boy crypto pants, BBCP. What's going on there? I mean, presumably, if you are a crypto magnate, tycoon, that should not be happening. Unless, of course, you love your job so much that it is your leisure time. I guess that would be one way of reorienting and reframing that. France is nice. Many women in Portugal are named Maria de something. Not literally. Is she known as Lourdes for short? My mum was called Maria de Piedade. So Piedade for short. That's a nice insight into Portuguese culture. Love those little snippets. Thank you very much for that, Prof. Bon dia from the North Devon coast. Beautiful. Love the North Devon coast. Day 6 of isolation. What a great place to be isolated, though. Having returned from Portugal, it's totally worth it, everybody. So whereabouts? Ilfracombe, somewhere like that. It's the Wild West the Wild East, I suppose, in many ways of the UK, isn't it? But the North Devon coast does have a Wild West feel about it compared to the somewhat more what are they like? A bit more prim and proper, aren't they? In South Devon, the part of Devon where I used to live, not that I was part of the prim and proper scene, but used to love going up to North Devon there, where you are, Caroline Bainton, and enjoying the wildness of North Devon. Check it out, folks. If you are here in Portugal and you're an expat here and you want to be in Portugal, for one thing, to be close to the rest of Europe, do check out Devon and Cornwall. Pop over to the UK there and go see the wildness of North Devon. Thoroughly recommend it. Hey, Rebel Mama's here as well. Other colleague from the Growing Old Disgracefully program and community. Bon dia, as pessoas, Rebel Mama. Hope you like what we've done with the website. I'm just working here. It's a peaceful place. It's my breakaway office. And the internet is fast for South Africa. It should be if you're up a mountain. There's probably a transmitter right next to you, isn't there? Meant to say it's cloudier on top of the mountain. There's a joke in there somewhere that with you working with Claudia on top of the mountain there. If you shout out Maria in a Portuguese street, half of the women will turn around. Maybe some of the blokes as well. Who knows? Mark Rigby is here as well from Povoa de Vargem. Hey, Mark, how are you? I'm not sure I've been able to wish you a Feliz Ano Novo so far this year. Great to have you here. And when should we stop wishing each other a Happy New Year? When is it culturally appropriate to do that? Or not. So cool, Elra. Yes, people call her Lourdes. There you go. So Maria de Lourdes is known as Lourdes in that family. Superb. And we saw the video, didn't we, of Francis's mum and auntie having a little wander about Porto. That's really nice, Francis. And if you want to put the link to that in the comments, please do. It's lovely to see them on that, the documentary you made. Good morning, Gumpers, from Pippa Young. We had biblical rain last night, but much needed in Botswana over there. Yes, you should have asked me about the Wi-Fi booster, Carl. Oh, well, the next time then. Yes, indeed. I like what you did there, and we do hope to see you again. Francis, nice office. Did lots of walking around the mountain with Hash House Harriers group. Absolutely stunning. A friend of mine has also done the bat run. So this is hashing, isn't it? And not connected with the cannabis shop in Coimbra that we featured earlier on. This is a really good tradition, isn't it? I think it was a lot of military people, possibly American military around the world, started social running groups, and it's caught on. And people do this all over the world. So there it is in South Africa there. And we need to go back to that. For those who weren't here earlier on, this is the office about which we are talking. This is where Francis is working this morning. And this is what the view should be of the mountain, Tabletop Mountain. There it is. But this is actually what he's seeing. Just a few of those cables there. I hope that clears up. I hope the sunshine burns some of that mist and the frist away. Oh, talking of mist and frist, we have maybe I got confused. Is this Hertfordshire? No, that is Pombal still, isn't it? Sometimes there's a very big difference between Pombal and Hertfordshire. This might not actually, probably not this morning. There's your mist and frist of your misty fristy morning in Hertfordshire this morning. That's pretty glorious, I have to say. And is this your misty fristy in Pombal? What do we think of this comparison? I imagine that feels the same on the face this morning, but we have to go with a somewhat bluer. Sorry, Coach Turner, we've got to go with a somewhat bluer sky. The sort of bluer skies you're going to be enjoying later this month over here in Portugal. I think we've won it on the blue sky. Hands down there. Okay, what else are you saying in the chat here this morning? What are your favourite things about Portugal whilst we're having a nice little chat together this morning? We're not going to get to the news, are we? Let's face it. Bon dia to you, Matty from Antonio. And hola, bon dia, kids. Como estás? We were just enjoying your lunch from yesterday, Victoria. And a wave to you from Coach Turner. I love it up here, says Francis, on Tabletop Mountain. Looking at Tabletop Mountain, most don't know there's a Wi-Fi lounge here where you can work and buy overpriced water, but worth it every now and then. Recently read that octopi have been, stop it. You're ruining people's lunch here, James. Have been designated sentient beings along with great apes, dolphins, whales, etc. I think humans are on that list. Not sure that all belong there. Now, let's play nicely. I did stop watching My Friend the Octopus on that basis, I have to say. Here we go, Elra. These are the for you, Linda, for OLP. The places when we asked Gilda yesterday where she would like to live in Portugal. And we didn't say, choose one, because that would be unkind. That would be a biblical choice, wouldn't it? Where a sword would have to be used. No, here in Portugal, what we do is we have 6 houses, and they might not be owned all by us. They might be in the family or in our circle of friends, right? That's the way to do it. And there was a suggestion, wasn't there, of having an Expats Portugal kind of couch surfing network where you could enjoy each other's homes and circulate around the country. I think it's a great idea. But Porto, Aveiro, Sejal, Burgão, and I think Lisbon, I think Lisbon, that was it, wasn't it? We will be put right by anyone who remembers that better than we do, you and me, Elra. But there you go, OLP, that's for you. Morning, all you wonderful gumpers from the coach. 3 weeks tomorrow, and we will be on the plane to Faro, escaping the big freeze here in Hertfordshire. And we showed that picture there of the misty, fristy Hertfordshire. Thank you for that, Coach. Carl's pronunciation sucks. Just kidding, it's improving. Probably... Burgão, that is exactly how Gilda said it, I think. I think it's your spelling that sucks, actually, Elra. Taking that a bit personally this morning, haven't I? James Holly used to love South African calamari, fresh cooked on the beach until I watched. Yeah, there you go. I watched My Octopus Teacher. So it's becoming an act of cannibalism almost, isn't it? Eating another sentient being. Portugal will follow the rest of the EU, says Victor Grassa. There, thank you, Victor. When, I suppose, is the question, isn't it? We'll see what happens in the rest of Europe. And, of course, UK. I think there are always political agendas attached to this, as we're seeing more and more, right? So I think Boris is lifting restrictions as part of a political move as much as anything else. So he will be quick off the mark with that. And I think other European countries will be slower to follow. Let's see, shall we? Confession, so behind on my 15 minutes, been focusing on studying a new certification. It's crunch time, so I know the sacrifice is for a good reason. Once done, I'm back. Okay, so good luck with your new certification, and you'll be back on your 15 minutes soon, I'm sure, Francis. One of my infinite wonderful things I love about Portugal, walking through the villa and centre of Ericeira, then onto the beautiful blue and white seaside walls, which of course are immortalized in your video, which has been further immortalized, hasn't it, in the blog by Terence Austin, and breathing in the miracle of all of it. Yeah, I don't think you're alone in that, in having a favorite walk, James. Not to diminish your experience at all, but I think it's one of those more subtle, what's the word, ephemeral favorite things about being in Portugal. You know, your own personal favorite place or walk or ramble. Mine is I like to cycle actually from my home, and it's a pretty flat journey along the top road into San Martinho de Porto, and you probably halfway through you reach the cobbled part of the old town. And then you're in a Jason Bourne or James Bond movie. And I imagine myself like that on my bicycle, not in a DB5 or DBS or whatever it's called. And I'm going through, and it becomes more and more oldie worldy San Martinho de Porto until you get to the lovely viewing platform where the glass elevator is. And it's that moment where you may well think the same thing, James. This is what I came here for. And we used to talk about this, didn't we? A lot more on the show. Portuguese moments, hashtag Portuguese moments. You know, when you're sitting there licking the custard out of your nata with a nice Portuguese coffee, and you go, "This is it. This makes it all worthwhile. This is what I love about being here." So for me, the old town of San Martinho de Porto, getting to the top of the town as it looks out over the bay, I feel my heart rising right now, and I share in your infinite wonderful things that you love about Portugal there, James. Thank you for that. What is the name of the beautiful Portuguese terracotta pottery with white design? It looks like they would be one of my favorite things. Are you talking about the azulejo tiles, the blue and white that James is talking about? Because that's not terracotta, is it? Because there's the terracotta. Maybe you're talking about terracotta with the white writing on that you would see in the same sort of shops where you get the Barcelos cockerel. I hear that Portugal has awesome coffee. Are their favorite brands? Now, I daren't talk about this. I can tell you what brands are ubiquitous, but I can't really tell you. I mean, it's so subjective, isn't it? I think we'll go to Francis for this. Francis in South Africa. Your favorite brand of coffee and why? But you're looking at Delta here, aren't you? As I think probably the biggest brand. And what I understand about Portuguese coffee is that whatever the brand, there is a standard, pretty much, mais ou menos, that they adhere to, that is the signature Portuguese coffee taste. And my favorite quote about Portuguese coffee is not that it's the best coffee in the world, but it's the most consistently good coffee in the world, which I think is a pretty good, what would that be, a benchmark or a claim to fame. Coffee is consistently good in Portugal, and you don't have that roller coaster ride of going into cafes and going, what was that? Morning Gumpers, octopus with potatoes, lots of garlic, a cup of olive oil, parsley, bay leaves in a pan. Oh, yes, that's how to make it succulent for big boy crypto pants. Cooked for 45 minutes. Fish filleting for the dorada taco, the black dorada taco. Is that right? Is that what you're doing at the moment? Is that what we're having tomorrow? Thank you, Owen. Looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow. In your chef garb. Favorite Portuguese things: the walks along the cliffs above the beach and cafe life. There we go. Coming back to the cafe again, the kiosk life, the cafe life, the pastel de natas and the coffee, and the little walk along to it. Where you've earned it by the time you get there. Favorite Portuguese thing: being able to be politically incorrect with my friends and no one is offended. There you go. That's the way to do it, isn't it? Can't turn off the Portuguese dark sense of humor in my genes. And we need to know more about this Portuguese sense of humor because I do love it. And I think it does. Would you say, Elra, that it kind of connects pretty well with the Scandinavian sense of humor? I think there are some shared values or insights when it comes to the Scandinavian and Northern European sense of humor and the Portuguese. And the word dark definitely comes into it, I think, doesn't it? Dark and dry. Isn't that the Portuguese sense of humor? Please, Portuguese people, tell us more. Portuguese peras are delicious, says Thunder Duck. I haven't tried the dried ones that were mentioned before by Caroline. Oregonians, there you go, a favorite Portuguese or popular Portuguese brands, Delta and Nicola. You'll see that. And is it Ruby as well? Is Ruby a type of coffee or just a type of cafe? But certainly Delta and Nicola, you'll see a lot of that branding And we were going to be talking. We went to that fantastic, when we were broadcasting and living in Lisboa for a few days, we went to one of their signature cafes on the waterfront. That's worth going to. Great Delta coffee shop. And I did give my details to the marketing man, but he never showed up, didn't come back. We have talked about coffee before. Check out some of the older podcasts and videos about Portuguese coffee. There are so many, including the fabulous and humorously named Café Constipado. One of my favorite things in Portugal is to passear, to go for a stroll around town. Okay, so that's the equivalent of promenading, the passear. Stroll around town, taking in a mere delight on the Esplanade. There you go, kiosks, esplanadas. We are learning a lot about Portuguese culture and the things that people love here. I'm so glad we did this morning. Sent the WhatsApp music video of the Coimbra Square. I'm so behind here. We're going back to comments over half an hour ago. I'm trying to catch up, folks, but there are so many favorite Portuguese things, clearly. And there is the recipe there. Thanks again for that, Owen. Fave Portuguese things. Amanata e merdelete descafeinado se faz favor. So there you go. The custard pastry, ubiquitous, universal custard pastry of Portugal with a meia delight half milk. So we're back to the meio kilo, half milk. Have been drinking the galão myself recently, which is more like the latte. So the meia delight, for your information, is like, not exactly like, but similar to the cappuccino, not as creamy possibly, and not as pretentious. And the galão is like the latte, okay? And that is polvo, not Povoa Lagareo would be cannibalism, wouldn't it? But that's Polvo Lagareo, Lagarero, my favorite. Antonio F. there. Gumperville, another Gumper-related word terminology there. It's growing, isn't it? The vocabulary, the Gumper vocabulary. Greetings. Hey, Ernest Furtado, where you been? You, Ernest and Rizal. How are you? Good morning from sunny and warm Paranha, Brazil. In Brazil at the moment. That's amazing. Tuned in from Brazil. And tell us about a favorite Brazilian thing that you're enjoying over there at the moment, Ernest. Great to have you here. Favorite Portuguese things? Does Tavira qualify as a thing? Well, we'll let you have that, Jean. And we still got your cockerel, your Barcelos cockerels waiting for you there. I had to have a bit of a clear out yesterday. No, I don't. I don't have your cockerel to share with everybody this morning, but I think it's etched in our memories. Certainly yours, and waiting for you there in Tavira, right, Jean? What are some of your favorite things in Tavira? Please elaborate on that, Jean, if you will, in New Jersey this morning. Yes, the far side, Gary Larson. My goodness, we are going back with these, aren't we? Gumper, gripes until my Portuguese entry ready. That's good. I'm loving the acronym there. With that sense of that excellent mixture, which is in no way contradictory of grumpiness, putting the grumper in the gumper, and the lightheartedness as well. We do that with such style here, don't we? Seemingly contradictory to be somewhat grumpy on occasion and most excellently cheerful on other, but sometimes at the same time, which could twist your spleen. Paul Williams, hola bon dia, on the train along the Upper Tejo River on the way to Castelo Branco. That sounds great, Paul. What a journey, not being able to watch, but catch up later. Stunning views. Well, let's have a picture. You can't do that, Paul. Tell us you've got a stunning view and not send in a picture. Best thing, well, have a great trip, bon voyage to you and Lita. Best thing I enjoy about Portugal, sitting in a cafe, having a few coffees. This is a familiar theme. And people watching, there we go. We don't get good enough weather in Belfast to sit outdoors. So loving that kind of life. Michelle's in from Australia this morning. Thank you very much. Wasted away. Thank you for being here this morning, Michelle. Wasted away in Gumperdentville. I see too much of the aguardent. And there he is. He used to be such a cheerful Gumper. Now he sits on the bench sipping aguardent from a brown paper bag, chasing the pigeons away. Can we bring him back? Martin, do you guys need Owen Lloyd Martin, what am I talking about? I only saw the Martin there for a moment. Matty, do you need a food tester for tomorrow? I could come over. You're going to have to push Garvo out of the way for that. And the pottery you're talking about, OLP, is the Vista Alegre, or the one from Caldas Terreno. I should know that, shouldn't I? Bordalio Pinheiro. Come to Caldas, and we'll go to the shop and museum together, OLP, when you get here, okay? And I know exactly what you mean now, because I think that's right in the way that Antonio F. has described it there. Stephen Wright, Dimitri Martin, Gary Lyson, all brilliant off-centre bubbles. There you go, in good company this morning. I'm a goal, as well as a Gumper, a goal Gumper. A gentleman of leisure. Very good. How's it going, Mark? Is there? I imagine when you put it like that, you have tweeds and a walking cane and possibly a monocle on a special occasion as you go for your little promenade of Pavoa de Vargine there. I can see you in a monocle actually, and tapping with your walking cane on what is it about? I haven't seen this for a while, but the more elderly, I'm not talking about you, Mark, but there's a thing that proper oldies do, which is to walk along the street with a walking stick and then poke things with the walking stick, just to stop and just poke a leaf or an empty cigarette packet or something, and then just walk on. Not pick it up or anything, but just give it a reassuring little poke. Is that just me, or do you recognise that, anyone? Take the number and get to the back of the line. There you go. At you, Matty. I think Thunderduck is behind Garvo in the queue for being Owen's food taster, and then you're behind there. So get a number. None of this pushing and shoving. Just after 7 p.m. in the far north of Australia there. And that makes me lol, says Caroline. What's that about the primness and properness of the Southern Devonians? Annie Jones is here, everybody. Morning, Annie. How are you doing? I'm looking forward to connecting with you this year and seeing you again. You will have to contact the Austin Brothers studio for that. There is a queue developing, and Michelle enjoying that music there in central Coimbra. We are so far behind, everybody. Another favourite thing, just sent a short video. Fardo, we're overwhelmed with favourite things. I should have known this would happen, right? Owen has already texted Garvo. Fight. They should duke it out, shouldn't they, for that? I mean, they should be wrestling each other, bare-chested, possibly naked, on sheepskin rugs, like in that Ken Russell movie. Is it called Women in Love? And the winner of that gets to taste the food, obviously. Gone, USA, my Portuguese experience rocking. Another Gumper acronym there. Thank you. Carl, the inhabitants of Coimbra are called the Coimbrão, the Coimbricenses or Conimbriguenses. The last two come from the Latin name of Coimbra, which is Conimbriga, right? Thank you for sorting me out there and educating me. And Amsterdammers is the collective noun for those guys as well. The Amsterdammed, a person when they go to the dark side, right? When they're in their cafes too often. A person from Coimbra City only knew this one. Thanks. So yeah. There you go, put right, and rightly so. We call them scratchies. What are they? Fire hydrants or old folks or what? I'm behind with me work, like the man who sat on the bacon slicer behind me with work this morning. Faja Dadia, Patrick Russian. That's Patrice Russian, isn't it? Unless it's the lesser known Patrick Russian, her brother. Haven't you heard there the track of the day for our playlist of good ones of the jazz, funk, soul, and jazz genres there. Thank you very much for that, Chris. How are you this morning? Carl, can you share Cindy B's details again for the permaculture course? Cindy B, I'm going to have to leave that to you because I don't know which ones she wants me to share. But let's put you in touch. Excuse me. I can do that after the show. Hola, bon dia. Antonio, funny. The green crosses in America are the pot shops and not the pharmacy. Well, a lot of that was not the right word to use, Carl. A lot of aficionados of the green, maybe that's why they're called the green crosses, right? Let's call it the devil's lettuce for a moment. A lot of the aficionados of that will tell you for hours on end about the health benefits. And we mentioned this on the gardening show yesterday. You know, the wonder plant hemp and the medicinal properties of CBD are vastly not underrated, quashed, I suppose, hidden from view, much maligned, and arguably should be more in the public domain. So I don't think it's an accident to have the green crosses converging there of the pot shops and the pharmacies. So one coming here wanting to get an antifungal cream may be surprised if they go to the green cross stores. No, you'll get CBD cream. It'll be fine. That is perfect, Gillian Anderson, Carl. Thank you. I wonder if I could do voiceovers. Being Gillian Anderson, being Margaret Thatcher. Bon dia all from Fiona. And my next video will be a collection of Portuguese vegan dishes. Now, a few years ago, I would have said that's going to be a short video. but not true anymore. Gumper, greatly unaware. My Portuguese extremely rubbish. Thank you very much for that. Another cracker there. That's 3 acronyms now, isn't it? Can you beat that, anybody? And beautifully frosty morning near Shamushka in the Ribatejo area there, region. I've lit my tiny stove in my bus for the first time this winter. Wow, good going. Carl, maybe you can promote the Go Out and Grow show more on Monday mornings. Again, forgot to watch your show live as I was busy with my stuff and forgot about it. No, take responsibility for your agenda, and write it down. It's so easy. I mean, YouTube couldn't make it any easier. You can put a reminder bell on the shows there. But yeah, okay, point taken. And I think I did, even though. Maybe you could ask me to remind myself to remind you, and then we'll really get there, Matty. GMP up late last night looking at the northern sky. Susie's here, everybody. Looking for the northern lights. None. Were awesome on the weekend. Got a gift from Jenny B in the mail. I love it. Isn't it beautiful? That's what you need, Matty. You need one of Jenny B's journals and write in there, must watch the Get Out and Grow show on Mondays. Incoming brekkie pick, oatmeal and fruit. I'm going to go back to the... We're going to run out of time this morning with our so-called easygoing chat. It's become intense. So many messages. Not complaining, but it's fantastic how this happens. So many messages, so many pictures and videos this morning. Just triggered by a different kind of trigger alert. Just triggered by the mere mention of a few of your favorite Portuguese things this morning. Is there a real cannabis shop in Coimbra, or is it CBD? There is a huge difference. I suspect it's a paraphernalia shop. All the gear, but no idea, kind of. You can't buy the substances, but you can buy all the stuff to probably prepare and ingest the substances, even though it's illegal to have the substance. You know how it goes. Is the 4 Dagza in... Hold on a minute. What's happening here? Is the 4 Dagza in Nijmegen related to the Bat Run, says Matty. The 4 Dagza has started a fike as a military training walk, walking 50 kilometers each day in full gear. And that is now, and for many years, public and other ranges. Oh, I see. Back to the hashing talk there, and I'll leave that to the likes of Pippa and Francis to respond to. For sure, there's no shop selling cannabis in Coimbra. Yeah, illegal to do so, and that may change in time, of course, because we think, don't we? We might imagine with Portugal's legendary, globally renowned drugs policy, there might be a change in that, and it might go more the American or Netherlands way. We'll see about that. Jersey Peas in, everybody. Hola, bon dia, alegria, Carl, y a todos. How's it going there, Jersey? Cheers! And banana slugs didn't make the list. What are favourite things? But they are great Bayards wrestlers. And here's that image to prove it here. We need to find out who she is. I wonder if she is Maria. Should we call her Maria de Bayard for the time being until we know what her actual name is? And there she is, the Bayards lady, wrestling the daddy lozenge, or the mother of all lozenges, and not in that particular picture. But I think you know the one I'm referring to. Actually, it's my profile pic over there on coffee.com/GMP. You may have noticed if you've gone over there to the show notes blog. Part of the Bayards wrestling team. I still want succulent octopus. Big boy crypto pants. We've given you the recipe there. And from the coach to Antonio, Lisbon is the only place in the world where I've been offered cannabis in the street. There are probably dried rabbit droppings, though, to be fair, Coach Turner. Twice in a day. You must have been in Rossio. Not sure what that says about me. But a bit of both. Did my 30 minutes of Portuguese every day in 20. Look, so just as we were praising Deagle for his steady 15 minutes, Matty's come in with a 30 minutes consistently every day so far of 2022. Well done, mate. Rebel Mama, some 8 to 10 years ago, there were shops that could sell some products like hallucinogenic mushrooms, but that ended in a couple of years, became illegal. Okay. What is the WhatsApp group for Expats Portugal? Is it invite only? There isn't really a WhatsApp group for Expats Portugal. There's too many people, too many members. Go to expatsportugal.com, Big Boy Crypto Pants, and that is the way to primary way to keep in touch with the whole community. And I think people are, there's subgroups and sub-communities emerging. And then some people take that to WhatsApp thereafter because it's a little faster and easier to do when you're on the move. But we will have a forum redesign at some time in the future and bring it into 2022. When it starts to warm up a bit again, I'll add a stop for gelado. Yeah, of course. And that's part of James's favourite things to do here in Portugal. The little saunter about Ericeira there. You'd be lucky if it was cannabis. Yeah, usually only a tourist trap. A little bit of old tarmac wrapped in cling film with some other product pretending to be hashish there. Portugal decriminalised consumption years ago, so I guess it says more about Lisbon than about you. Don't worry. In case you were worrying there, coach, go to the beach. Says Humberto Ferreira, Baleal in Peniche, a favourite thing to do in Portugal. And a good morning from Humberto there. Good morning, boys and girls of this beautiful community. I'm still on time. Am I still on time to take part in the show in your company? Absolutely right you are, Joao F. And yours is the first picture I've put on the show notes blog. I hope that's okay with you. I'll tell you more after the show, Joao F. The terracotta is cookware, as I love to cook. Oh, rather than an ornamental. Okay, I imagine it's a bit of both. It's not private. Carl puts a number up on the screen from time to time. Okay, yeah. But that's the incoming pics and videos number, the 913-590-303. Not exactly a WhatsApp group there. My dog smells one. My dog's got no nose. Bon dia, Carl. Thanks to you. Thanks to your show, we visited Lisbon in September and are planning a trip to Porto in the near future. Glad to be of service. Superb. Oh, yes. And Paul has sent in the picture. So let's see what's going on here. Let me just take a breather and a sip of water here and play you. I'll play you the kiosk video again, okay? Because some of you might have missed that. We'll have the kiosk video one more time, and then we'll be back with more of your other contributions after this in this last 10 minutes of the show. There you go, a kiosk. And so nice to promenade out in Lisbon of the early evening and then have a coffee somewhere like that. Esplanadas, kiosks, cafes. It's the only way to go, isn't it? Got to be part of your favourite things to do in Portugal. Right, so we have a picture coming in from... Oh, my word, Paul. That is very beautiful. And thank you for taking the time to do that. Really appreciate it. And... yes. Oh, Northern Lights and a gift from Jenny B. Magical. Let's do that. I've got mine as well. There's a bit of a sort of quiet tussle going on over whether me or Mrs. M should use it in this house. But I think we could both use it. Oh, my word as well, Victoria. Beautiful breakfast this morning. Yeah, that's not oatmeal. That's just all fruit, isn't it? Or is that just your topping on top of your porridge there? Beautiful. And there's some ingredients there, just in case anybody wants to copy it and what they should look out for in a Portuguese supermarket. Oh, thank you for these. Beautiful from Jean as well. Moonrise on the last night in Tavira recently. I'm going to be putting those up on the screen in just a moment. We have to download these in real time, folks. Just bear with for a moment. Oh, there's plenty to... I mean, what do you guys do when I'm doing this? I guess you... are looking at what's going on in the chat. Plenty going on. We've got a video here from Colin.
This is the wonderful morning mist.
Morning mist there from Colin's new pad. So we got that to play for you as well. So many, turn me back for a moment. And we got some Fado business coming up as well. Here's the sound. You'll have the visual content in just a moment. Oh! Right, we'll go out with that because that's fantastic. Some Fado there. Not everyone's cup of tea. Marmite music, it has to be said, but pretty awesome. Another video in from James as well. Thank you. Some marvelous sharing this morning. Seaview, Eddie, Sarah. We got so much to share with you in these last 7 minutes. That sounded like me falling into the sea there. Oh, did I download that? Hold on a minute. Let me just make sure I've got that downloaded, James. So videos of music, of seascapes, of beauty, of train rides this morning. Link doesn't post as link to chat. I wonder what that means. Oh, that's a video of Tabletop Mountain. Is that one of yours there, Francis? Because if it's a Francis video, I'll tell you, it's worth taking a look at. His production style and expertise are superb. Okay, so I'll I'll copy that across just in case that didn't make it to other people's views. I'm assuming that's okay. With everything coming in so thick and fast, and who doesn't like it thick and fast in the morning? That's our catchphrase. There we go. So that's France's video of tabletop on the YouTube there. And I think what you're saying possibly, Francis, is they're not live links. And hopefully you can cut and paste that, folks, if you want to look at a video of tabletop mountain. But don't go there just yet, because we've got more of Portugal to share with you. I'm not sure, says Elra, about the Nordic sense of humour. They seem very serious around here, but that's maybe just the Finns. I would need to know more Norwegians and Danes. Yeah, a massive generalisation. But I would say the Portuguese seem quite serious when you don't know them. And then when you do, you get that sense of humour that we've been talking about here. Do you think that some of that dark sense of humour came out of the repression of the Estado Novo? I have a feeling that really crept into the cultural subconscious in many ways. I suspect there is something of that, Rebel Mama. Good point. I appreciate all the people I'm meeting who share their Portuguese experiences to ease the path for those of us on our way. Stay tuned, Suze. We've got so much to share that will further excite you this morning. Standing O territory. The erotic novel entry. Try as she would when with him, she simply could not turn off the Portuguese dark sense of humour in her genes. I've got a dark sense of humour in my genes. That's going to be great in an audio book. I can't wait to explore my upcoming favourite Portuguese things. My son is due to arrive there today. Yay! There's the update we've been waiting for. Thanks, Jandis. I wouldn't be able to say that would require knowledge of a sense of humour before the dictatorship. I guess it could be a way to cope with hard times. But we've had those since 1147. There's the sense of humour. There it is, right there. I found that coffee here is like Portland or Seattle level. It's different. But every corner cafe has good coffee, so that it's different than the US. I like Bricelta or Bricelta coffee. Not heard of that one. But yeah, so that would back up my earlier assertion, which I got from someone else anyway. It's not the best coffee in the world, but it's the most consistently good coffee. Thanks for that, Rebel Mama. Thanks, Antonio, for the dish explanation as well. The terracotta business there. Portuguese sense of humour has been developed since ever. Just look at the work of Rafael Bordalo Pinheiro. Yes, during the First Republic, and our wonderful, what's he called? Our lovely Zé Povinho, isn't that right? Estado Novo does not have that credit. Okay, fair enough. But the Zé Povinho humor, I love as well, and I don't get it in any great depth, but it hits me. I get it. I get the iconography, and I get that man of the people sort of humor thing going on there, a voice of the people. Glad to hear that my Funo Canadian humor may be appreciated by the Portuguese too. You are that hybrid. You are the living embodiment of the great sense, the Scandinavian Portuguese senses of humor coming together. Interesting. Thanks for that hint. I am so excited to dive into Portuguese literature and poetry so much. So there you go. Yes, check out Rafael Bordalo Pinheiro then. The devil's lettuce is legal here in Oregon. I have some wonderful reflective recipes. Enjoy the edibles for hours over there. Yeah, exactly like the Zé Povinho. I can't find a diary in any cheap shops to help me remember my wedding anniversary. Okay. That sounds so romantic. You can buy low THC buds at the cannabis shop in Lisbon. They can even deliver. So you're told. Rebel Mama, you'll have to go to Spain for that. For what? What is going on there? Zé Povinho was created in June of 1875 and is still a valid representation of the Portuguese people. And I don't have my picture of the old Iberian slap, but I would share that with you right now to put that into perspective if I could. The cannabis in the streets of Lisbon are fake. They can't get busted selling fakes. Yeah, you can't get busted selling a bit of old tarmac wrapped in a bit of cling film, can you? Or dried rabbit droppings. Not that I've ever bought any of those. I meant, not for years anyway. I meant I still want succulent octopus, and no documentary will put me off. Okay, fair enough. Thank you for clearing that up. You sentient being eater. The bat run is running the 3 peaks of the mountain at night. That sounds crazy. And asking for trouble, like what could possibly go wrong? Well, several things doing the bat run, running the 3 peaks of a mountain at night, and a resident. Oh, what does that mean? It's possible to get a prescription for actual THC cannabis. It's available at any pharmacy. Don't ask me how I know. Okay, we won't. Way, says Douglas as well. Yes, incoming pics and memes, please. All right, 913-590-303. We Portuguese like to criticise everything that comes from Portugal, but it's often unfair. Some things are well accomplished here after all. They so are. Stop it, you lot. Stop it. We've got to save you Portuguese folks from being down on yourselves in that particular department. Please don't. I am talking about drug policy, of course. Okay. Joao, but that is among us. If anyone else starts, yes, exactly. You have the right to talk yourselves down. But if anyone else starts talking negative stuff about Portugal, we get the pitchforks and torches. Hey, first time watching live from Lisbon. Hey, Kristen, good morning to you. Getting settled and loving the city and the people. Well, great to be here. How can we help? Okay, I'm going to ignore the ats because we're running out of time and I've got so much to... We've run out of time. It's official. And I've got lots of lovely stuff to share with you that was sparked off by the idea of a few favourite things this morning. I'm cooking breakfast and working out while I watch the show. That's how we roll. That is so God Squad. That is so Grey Watch. That is so growing old disgracefully. It's the documentary you asked for. Thank you so much. That's France's mum. Was it Lourdes there and Auntie as well, who are in that documentary? That link is now in the comments. Thanks for that, Francis. And what have we got? A lot of comments. Great. Good conversation going on between all the community this morning as I turn my attention to sharing the last few images. Well, they're not the last few. This will go run and run. But the last few for today. Tired typer this morning meant Fino Canadian humor. I thought that was an actual thing, Funo, but we understood what you meant, the Fino Canadian. A brilliant coming together of, it's like genetically modified humor, isn't it? A bit of Finn, a bit of Canadian, and a bit of Portuguese in there. Hi from Sydney. Haven't been able to get over to Portugal since August 2019. I'm missing it. I'm missing Lulay and Lisboa, says Lorraine this morning. Stay tuned for the vicarious pleasure that you can get here, and we'll keep your Portuguese pilot lit for you. Push that like button. Thanks for sharing the link. Oh, not at all, Denada. It's my pleasure to do so. Always happy to share your excellent work, Francis. So let's go to those last few images now and videos. I have got Fado for you. I have a seascape at Ericeira for you as well. And I've got Colin's view from his new gaff. So we've got all of those. And we have also this morning got some more food pics. We do love those food pickies. And the moon sets from Jean as well. And a bit more Aurora Borealis action. So let's go with the pickies first. Let me load up a few more. Thank you so much this morning for your excellent contributions. That picture from the train, Paul, is beautiful. And you're going to see that in just a moment, everybody. So Jean's moon sets here. Tavira, before Jean left Tavira, beautiful moon there. Look at that. And lovely Tavira. I think Gilda was expressing her love of Tavira as well yesterday, wasn't she? And who wouldn't? Who's been there? I haven't, actually. James telling you what to do there. Hit that like button. Does it really benefit? I know you love what we do here. I know we all love each other and all our contributions. What does hitting the like button actually achieve? That was a genuine question. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. Is that a showing of the appreciation? I wonder there. Nothing wrong with a rampage of appreciation, right? Pretty much what we've been doing all this morning. Okay, so lovely moon sets from Tavira, from Jean there. This is the fantastic and much coveted journal of the Jenny B that she spoke about and gave away a few of these last Friday when she was here. And we have one of these in our possession in this Casa Munson here. And both me and Mrs. M, I think, will be using it together. Absolutely beautiful. Isn't that lovely that that was sent over to Suze in Finland by Jenny? And here are Suze's. Look at that for some Aurora Borealis. I've got so much to put on the show notes blog now. Made myself more work to do. But these things have got to be shared if that's all right with you, Suze. That picky there of the Aurora Borealis. Is that stars? Are those stars there? The little white dots in the sky. That's so beautiful. And this, folks, look at this. This is a picture this morning on the train journey going to Castelo Branco from central Portugal, one part of central Portugal, where Paul Williams is, going over on the train towards Castelo Branco. Absolutely beautiful, slightly misty pic from the train. I bet that's a wonderful journey. beautiful Portuguese sunshine. That's going to be a blue sky later on today, isn't it? Thank you for that, Paul. Superb. And that breakfast this morning. Look at this. This is what Victoria's enjoying, looking out over the Praia de Rocha there. Lots of fresh fruit, probably from the market. And if you want to know how that's put together, you can get your Quaker oats. If you need to get your oats here in Portugal, Quaker available, that familiar brand, and some magro later there, the milk content of that beautiful breakfast recipe there. Beautiful, lovely, delicious. Fantastic stuff there, Victoria. Thank you very much indeed. So on to the videos now as we conclude this morning. You've all been amazing. From Colin's new gaff. Do you remember he was in Ericeira, wasn't he? Moved now to the Silver Coast. I think this is his misty view this morning.
This is the wonderful morning mist over the Obidos Lagoon, taken from my bedroom balcony. What a lucky boy.
You are a lucky boy, but put trousers on tomorrow. Did you hear that woman screaming? Before you go out on the balcony, lucky boy, and take your videos, yes, make sure you're fully dressed, okay? I think there were horses running off in various directions as well. The horses were scared of the Obidos Lagoon this morning. Thank you for that. Look at that fado there. Well, listen to that as well. I mean, it is an auditory and visual feast, fado, often in beautiful atmospheric surroundings, especially in Coimbra. Jim, go to the fado performance up the hill there, and get yourself a lovely ice cream if the weather warrants it. Beautiful up in the lanes of Coimbra. You can hear fado like that. Thank you so much, Rebel Mama, for that. We will go out with the Ericeira seascape now, but yes, those were stars on that picture. Look at that. Let me just put that on there one more time. Stars in the picky there from Suze. Thank you so much for that. Absolutely beautiful. Look at that. Thank you, everybody, for indulging me with a few of your favorite Portuguese things this morning. I think we're big fans, aren't we, of the Portuguese cafe kiosk Esplanada life, having a little bit of a walk around town and then enjoying a coffee and a bit of people watching. A real pleasure in this Gumper community. Is it a Gumper thing? I wonder. I think we're especially attuned to that way of life, aren't we? The guys and girls, the gentlemen of leisure, and the lols, the ladies of leisure. That had never occurred to me before, that ladies of leisure are lols. But it makes sense, doesn't it? Thank you very much. Thank you so much for all of that lovely material that you've been sending in and all your wonderful comments and suggestions, Portuguese serving suggestions in the chat. We'll see you tomorrow, of course. What day is it? I thought this was going to be a leisurely one. I'm quite vibed up now to go into the day. Live cooking, of course. How could I forget live cooking? We've got a bit of bream that's going to be grilled tomorrow, I think. So let's just go out with some lovely seascape, courtesy of Mr. Holly there in Ericeira. Take care, bye for now, and we'll see you tomorrow. Ciao, ciao.